Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be taking a look at Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover. And I know that our listeners are pretty smart cookies, so we're not going to treat you like you're just starting out with personal finance. We're going to really get into the nitty-gritty of Ramsey's approach.
Yeah, I love that approach. And one of the things that really struck me about Ramsey's book is that he doesn't just dive right into the tips and tricks. He really emphasizes the importance of understanding where you are financially before you even start making any changes.
It's true. It's like he wants you to take a financial assessment, kind of like a fitness assessment, before you start a new workout plan. You
Yeah.
need to know your baseline.
Exactly. And he has these exercises in the book, like the 10 situations test and the scared or smiling exercise, that are designed to really make you confront your comfort level with money.
Yeah, those exercises were really eye-opening. I felt like I was holding a mirror up to my own financial security, or insecurity, as it were.
And that's the point. He wants to shake you out of any complacency you might have and force you to face reality.
Yeah, no sugarcoating here.
Not at all. He uses these really strong, almost jarring questions to get you thinking, and he wants you to move beyond the surface level and confront any denial or fear that might be holding you back.
And he doesn't just leave you with these kind of abstract exercises. He brings in real-life stories like the one about Sarah and John, this couple who were living in denial about their debt until John lost his job.
Oh, yeah. That story was a real wake-up call. It shows how ignoring your financial problems doesn't make them disappear.
If anything, it often makes them worse.
Exactly. It's like trying to ignore a cavity. It's not going to get better on its own.
So true. And this leads perfectly into Ramsey's next big point, busting those debt myths.
Yeah.
The ones that keep people trapped in a cycle of debt.
Oh, yeah, those myths are everywhere. Like the idea that debt is a tool or that there's such a thing as good debt versus bad debt.
Ramsey argues against all that he says, that all debt ultimately hinders your financial freedom. And he uses these really memorable phrases to drive the point home.
Yeah, like debt consolidation is debt consolidation.
It's so true.
It's not just about the words, it's about shifting your whole mindset around debt.
You've got to see it as an obstacle to building wealth.
And he's particularly passionate about tackling car payments. He points out that for many people, they've just become a way of life, but they're actually draining your financial potential.
And he uses this mind-blowing statistic to illustrate this point. He says if you invested the average car payment consistently, you could accumulate nearly $6 million by retirement.
Wow, that's a powerful way to put it in perspective.
It really highlights the opportunity cost of carrying that debt.
So how do we break free from this debt cycle?
Well, that's where Ramsey's famous debt snowball method comes in.
Right. It's not just about the math. It's about using behavioral psychology to create lasting change.
It's exactly. You list your debts from smallest to largest, regardless of interest rates, and you focus on aggressively paying off the smallest one first.
And the idea is that the psychological boost you get from knocking out that first debt creates momentum and motivation to tackle the bigger ones.
It's like a positive feedback loop.
And Ramsey emphasizes that it's not just about numbers. It requires a complete shift in behavior. He uses the phrase gazelle intensity to describe the level of focus and commitment you need to become debt-free.
It's like you're running away from that debt with everything you've got.
And he shares this great story of a woman he calls the fridge lady, who would visually track her debt snowball progress on her refrigerator.
I love that idea. It makes the process so tangible and even a bit fun.
It turns debt repayment into this visual reminder of your progress and commitment.
Such a great example of how psychology plays a huge role in achieving financial goals.
But even with all this intense focus on debt repayment, Ramsey doesn't neglect the importance of building a solid foundation.
Right. He stresses the need for a fully funded emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses set aside.
That emergency fund isn't just about being prepared for unexpected events, it's about having peace of mind.
And it prevents you from backsliding into debt when those inevitable Murphy moments arise.
Those unexpected expenses that seem to pop up at the worst possible time?
Exactly. And Ramsey is very clear about the difference between a true emergency and those things that should be anticipated and budgeted for.
He wants you to have that safety net for the big stuff, like job loss, major medical expenses, those things that can really throw you off course.
It's like having a financial shock absorber for life's bumps in the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It gives you that buffer to protect you from setbacks and keep you moving forward on your financial journey.
So you've tackled your debt, you've got your emergency fund in place. Now it's time to start thinking about the long term, right?
Absolutely. Long-term financial health. That means investing for retirement college savings, building wealth for the future.
This is where things start to get really exciting.
It's about creating a secure and abundant future for yourself and your family. And Ramsey recommends investing 15% of your pre-tax income for retirement.
Now, that might sound like a lot, but he argues that it's crucial for harnessing the power of compound interest over time.
It's like planting a small seed that grows into a mighty oak tree.
I love that analogy. It's about letting your money grow and work for you.
And he doesn't just leave you with a percentage, he gives you specific guidance on the types of investments to consider.
He's a big fan of mutual funds, right?
Yes, he
Sorry.
prefers them over individual stocks because they offer built-in diversification and professional management.
And he recommends spreading your investments across 4 types of mutual funds: growth and income growth international, and aggressive growth.
That's right. It's a diversified approach to help manage risk while aiming for long-term growth.
And remember, this is just a starting point.
Exactly. As you become more comfortable with investing, you can tailor your strategy to your individual risk tolerance and financial goals.
The key is to start early, stay consistent, and let that compound interest work its magic.
It's amazing how much your money can grow over time when you give it the chance.
So by following these steps, you're not just getting out of debt, you're laying the foundation for a secure and prosperous financial future.
It's about creating a life of financial freedom and abundance.
But Ramsey doesn't stop there. He takes it a step further by introducing this concept of the pinnacle point, the moment you achieve true financial freedom.
The pinnacle point is when your investments are generating enough income to cover all your living expenses.
You're financially independent, you don't need to work for money anymore. Money is working for you.
Exactly. It's the ultimate goal for many people.
And to show that it's achievable for ordinary people, Ramsey uses the example of Joe and Susie Average, this couple who achieves financial freedom through discipline, saving, and investing.
It's a powerful illustration that financial freedom isn't just a fantasy for the wealthy.
It's within reach for anyone who's willing to commit to the process.
And it all comes back to his initial analogy of physical fitness. Consistent financial practices, just like consistent exercise, build strength and resilience over time.
It's a message of empowerment. You have the power to shape your financial destiny.
And it's never too late to start.
That's right. Even small steps taken consistently can lead to big results over time. But Ramsey's approach isn't just about numbers and strategies. He also emphasizes the importance of character and ethics when it comes to wealth.
Absolutely. He believes that true wealth is about more than just money.
It's about using your resources wisely, ethically, and generously.
He encourages giving back to your community, condemning greed, and raising financially responsible children.
He even includes conversation prompts in the book to encourage couples to discuss their values and goals around money.
It's about making sure your financial journey is aligned with your deeper values and aspirations.
And he shares his own personal commitment to raising his children with strong financial values.
It makes his advice feel so relatable and authentic.
It's not just a set of rules. It's about living a life of integrity and purpose, even in your financial decisions.
It's about viewing money not just as a means to an end, but as a tool to create a meaningful and impactful life.
And that's what sets Ramsey's Total Money Makeover apart. It's not just a financial plan. It's a blueprint for a life of financial freedom, purpose, and fulfillment.
It's about taking control of your finances so they don't control you.
It's about being intentional with your money and using it as a tool to achieve your goals and live a life that's aligned with your values.
And Ramsey's book gives you a practical step-by-step guide to get there.
It's not just a financial plan. It's a blueprint for a life of financial freedom and purpose.
And what's really great is that his plan is accessible to anyone regardless of their income or background.
It's about changing your mindset, adopting new habits, and making consistent choices that lead to financial well-being.
It's about breaking free from those chains of debt and building a secure future for yourself and your family.
It's about taking ownership of your financial life and creating a legacy of financial wisdom and generosity that extends beyond yourself.
So what does this all mean for you?
Well, if you're ready to take control of your finances and embark on your own total money makeover journey, Ramsey's book is an excellent place to start.
It's packed with practical advice, real-life stories, and inspiring examples of people who have achieved financial freedom.
It's a reminder that you have the power to change your financial future.
And that financial freedom is not just a dream, it's a goal that's within your reach.
Exactly. It all comes down to taking action.
So here's a question for you to consider. What's one small step you can take today to start your own total money makeover?
Maybe it's creating a budget, tracking your spending, or finally paying off that small debt that's been hanging over your head.
Whatever it is, take that first step and start moving towards a life of financial freedom and purpose.
Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
We're excited for you and can't wait to see you achieve your financial dreams.
All right, folks. That's it for part 1 of our deep dive into Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with part 2 after a quick break.
We've got a lot more to unpack, so stay tuned. So he wants you to be prepared, for those big unexpected things, like if you lose your job or have a big medical bill or your car breaks down.
But at the same time, he's also like a realist. He knows this stuff happens in life, and sometimes you just got to dip into those savings.
Yeah, but he really encourages you to think carefully, even have a cooling off period before you touch that emergency fund.
Yeah, make sure it's a real emergency, not just like an impulse buy.
Exactly. And where you keep that money matters too, he says.
Oh, how so?
Keep it separate from your everyday checking account so it's not so easy to spend.
Makes sense. Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. And he also talks about how couples, might approach this whole emergency fund thing differently.
Yeah, because one person might be more like worried about having a big safety net than the other.
Yeah, he suggests letting the more security-oriented person kind of win on that one,
Yeah, to find that balance that works for both people.
Exactly. So everyone feels secure. So once you've tackled that debt and built that emergency fund and you're investing regularly for retirement, Ramsey takes you to the next level.
Okay, which is?
Building wealth like crazy.
I like it.
He uses this analogy of becoming like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of personal finance,
Pumping those financial muscles.
Exactly. And he really emphasizes that building wealth isn't about luck or some secret strategy. It's about being disciplined with your saving, investing, smart, and making those good choices over time.
Consistently.
Exactly. And he encourages people to get advice from financial professionals, but he also stresses that you're the one in charge of your money.
You're the CEO of your own financial life.
Exactly. Build a team of advisors, a financial planner, maybe an estate planning attorney, a tax expert, but you're the boss. You make the final call.
Don't just blindly follow advice.
Yeah.
Really understand what's going on.
Exactly. Be informed. And when it comes to investing, he's very clear about his philosophy.
What's that?
He favors those long-term diversified investments like mutual funds, over those risky get-rich-quick schemes.
Steady and slow wins the race.
That's the idea. He's all about harnessing the power of compound interest and letting your investments grow over time.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
And this is where his concept of the pinnacle point comes back in.
Oh, yeah, that point when your investments are making enough to cover your living expenses.
Exactly. Financial independence, you don't have to work for money anymore. Money's working for you.
That's the dream.
And he uses that example of Joe and Susie Average again, showing that you can achieve this even with an average income.
It's inspiring to see that it's possible.
And he actually gives you clear steps on how to figure out your own pinnacle point.
So you can figure out how much you need to be investing to get there.
Exactly. It's like having that personalized roadmap to your financial dreams.
But like we talked about before, it's not just about the numbers with Ramsey.
Right. There's that whole ethical side to it, too.
Using your money for good.
Exactly. Being generous, giving back to your community.
And teaching your kids about money.
Yes. Raising them to be financially responsible.
He really focuses on building a legacy, not just financially, but in terms of values, too.
It's about creating that ripple effect of generosity and financial wisdom.
But even with all this talk about financial freedom and wealth, Ramsey acknowledges that money isn't everything.
Of course, it can actually cause a lot of stress and anxiety if you're not careful.
And he warns against getting caught up in greed and materialism.
Right. True happiness comes from more than just stuff.
It's about finding contentment, living within your means, and prioritizing relationships over things.
And making sure your financial goals align with your values and your purpose in life.
Living a life that's both financially secure and personally fulfilling.
And that journey to financial freedom, it's not always easy.
There are going to be sacrifices, and you need to be disciplined.
And delay gratification sometimes.
But it's a journey worth taking.
Absolutely. The rewards are huge: financial freedom, peace of mind, and being able to live a life of purpose that's priceless.
It's so powerful.
It's about taking control so you're not controlled by money.
Being intentional with your money and using it as a tool to achieve your goals.
And Ramsey's Total Money Makeover lays out a clear path to get you there.
It's a blueprint for a life of freedom and purpose.
And what's remarkable is that his plan is accessible to anyone you know, regardless of their income or background.
It's not about how much you make, it's about your mindset.
Exactly. Adopting those new habits, making those consistent choices that lead to financial well-being.
breaking free from the chains of debt,
Yeah, building a secure future for yourself and your family.
taking ownership of your financial life, creating a legacy of generosity and financial wisdom that extends beyond yourself.
So, what does this all mean for you, the listener?
Well, if you're ready to take control of your finances and embark on your own total money makeover journey, Ramsey's book is a great place to start.
It's packed with practical advice, real life stories, those inspiring examples of people who have achieved financial freedom.
It's a good reminder that you have the power to change your financial future.
And that financial freedom is not just a dream, it's a goal that's within your reach.
You can do it.
It all comes down to taking action.
So here's a question for you. What's one small step you can take today to start your own total money makeover?
Maybe create a budget if you don't have one already.
Or start tracking your spending?
Or finally pay off that small debt that's been hanging over your head.
Whatever it is, just take that first step and start moving towards a life of financial freedom and purpose.
Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
We're so excited for you. We can't wait to see you achieve your financial dreams.
And that's it for our deep dive into Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover.
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive and found it valuable.
Remember, taking control of your finances is within your reach.
It's a journey worth taking.
Absolutely. And we're here to support you every step of the way.
Until next time, happy saving and investing, everyone.